Good morning. It is Friday, April 17th, and I'm coming to you here today to read your social studies passage to you. Couple things before I start. You should have had that quiz over the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, on Wednesday. And if you remember, there should have been a packet included with all of the work that you got that had those passages to help you. So please, if please look through your stuff and see if you can find that if you didn't already. But anyways, next for social studies, we're going to be talking about the ancient Indians. And when I talk about the ancient Indians, we're not talking about the Indians that would have been around in North America or America that we probably have heard more about than what we're going to learn about today. So we're actually talking about the Indians that would have lived in Asia, so South Asia, um, in these times. Okay, so we're not talking about Indians that would have been around when the colonists came over to America. We're talking about the Indians over on the other side of the world in South Asia, where there currently is a country called India that I'm sure you've heard of. So again, before we start reading, I think a um, good practice to take is to look at your questions first that you're going to have to answer. So those are on the back side of your packet for Friday, okay, the very back page. And your first question is, what is a monsoon? You've probably maybe heard of one of those before. How did they affect the lifestyle of the Indus Valley civilization? Okay, so I've tried to help you out this time in your passages, kind of boxing in some keywords and um, trying to point out some key places in the text to really pay attention to. So you should see in the text that we're going to read that monsoon is a word that I boxed a couple times, so you might use those areas to help you answer that question. Question 2. Who are the Aryans? When did they arrive? And what were the contributions to the civilization they joined? Okay, so you have a couple questions there in question 2. Who were the Aryans? When did they arrive? And then what were their contributions to the civilization they joined, or their contributions to society? How did they help things continue to get better with their technology and whatnot? That's number 2. Question 3. How was the Indus Valley civilization similar to Mesopotamia? So for that one, you might think back. We already learned about Mesopotamia. That was one of the first groups that we learned about. And if you think back, think about what made their civilization succeed. If you remember, right, before them, people were just hunters and gatherers. They kind of followed their food wherever that food was taking them. The Mesopotamians were kind of the first group that did something different. So if you can remember, think back to that. It's also going to mention the Mesopotamians in your passage. So if you don't really remember a lot back that far, you can always also look in the passage, and there's some examples in there. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start reading the passage. I'll just show you what it looks like here real quick too. So this is what the sheet looks like that you should be doing after you read. Okay, it says the Indus Valley civilization of ancient India. And that should be with your Friday packet for day 5. Okay, here we go. The Indus Valley civilization, also known as the Harappan civilization, first emerged in approximately 3000 BC, located around modern-day Afghanistan and northwest India. The Indus Valley was a fertile floodplain that encouraged a thriving agricultural society. Over hundreds of years, the Indus Valley civilization made many advanced technological contributions that changed the way people lived, including drainage systems, farming machinery, and measurement tools. The Indus Valley civilization depended on monsoons to aid their farming culture. These monsoons were seasonal winds that impacted the region, blowing warm and moist air from the southwest in the summer and cold air from the northeast in the winter. The people did not use irrigation systems, and instead used these monsoons to water their crops. However, if the rains came too early, too heavy, or too late, the crops were destroyed. The monsoons were a catalyst for a surge in development. Catalyst means it's something that starts something off. It's something that starts. So they were a catalyst for a surge in development and technology for the people of the Indus Valley civilization. One of their largest contributions to society was their elaborate underground drainage system. They used mud bricks to create the drainage system for waste. The waste would travel from a central well through clay brick pipes into a shared drain, and would then be disposed into a pit or used as fertilizer. Their civilization showed signs of being well planned, complete with housing and even bathrooms. Religion played a major role in the economy and daily life of the Indus Valley civilization. As a result, religious buildings for worship, such as shrines and temples, were designed. Many of them were built around the river valleys that provided resources for farming. Much like Mesopotamia's Fertile Crescent, the Indus Valley civilization resided around a river valley. They built massive canals and participated in sea trade, building boats and using trade as a means to thrive as a society. Like the Mesopotamians, the Indus Valley civilization depended on the fertile soil to grow their crops and support their farming lifestyle. A decline soon began around 1500 BC. The monsoons continued to shift east, the water supply began to dry up, and residents began to migrate. Moreover, a new group of nomads from Central Asia came into contact with the Indus Valley civilization called the Aryans. The Aryans settled into the area over several centuries. Their language and religious practices slowly overtook the Indus Valley civilization's language and religion. The Aryans continued to advance the society by introducing iron, and therefore the iron plow, a mechanism for ideal farming. Most importantly, the Aryans introduced the written language of Sanskrit around 1000 BC. Before the written language of the Indus Valley civilization was and still remains a mystery. The Aryans were able to write down their legends and religious chants, among other important information. There is no agreement as to why the Indus Valley civilization came to an end. Among the possible theories are climate change, migration, severe drought, decline in trade, and the arrival of the Aryans. However, the Indus Valley civilization's contributions are still making an impact today. All right, that is your passage for today called the Indus Valley Civilization of Ancient India. Again, look at those questions, look for those keywords, and then just kind of reread and skim through and try to answer them to the best that you can. Please use complete sentences when you are doing that. But that is pretty much it for social studies on Friday. Thanks. Have a great day.